Nicki Minaj has dared to have an opinion on a controversial subject and is now getting the ire of the government and commentators everywhere. Should public figures and celebrities and that be able to say stuff, or is it irresponsible and should it be stamped out? Or does it depend if they're parroting your perspective or not? Let's work it out right now.
England's chief medical officer was today asked at the Downing Street press conference for his professional opinion on a series of anti-vax tweets posted by the pop star.
I love it when Chris Whitty, who's the very epitome of a sort of nerdy government wonkish medic person, not that I know him, he might be a really nice person, has to answer a question about Nicki Minaj. And I also like the way the news presents it as if this is anything other than staged theatre. Do you think Chris Whitty's not been told in advance we're going to do one question because Nicki Minaj, who's a hip-hop star in the United States of America, has made a comment and we're going to respond to it because we have estimated that people will like you opposing Nicki Minaj? Like, the world's just sort of mad now, the way that sort of the political space and the entertainment space is all fusing. And look at me, an entertainer talking about politics. The irony.
The rapper was widely criticised when she claimed that her cousin's friend suffered swollen testicles and became impotent after getting the COVID jab.
Also, like, this news is framing it as a series of anti-vax tweets, i.e. it belongs to a genre, which I think is a little unfair because there's some of the most personal and particular information I've ever read in text form. I should clarify at this point that I have no opinion on any medical crisis or pandemic treatment of what you should do as an individual or any opinions about anything. See me as sort of like a glass sphere floating through space that information just goes through. Check this. Nicki Minaj tweeted, "My cousin in Trinidad won't get the vaccine because his friend got it and become impotent. His testicles become swollen." Like, what I like about this is that the image of Nicki Minaj's cousin's mate, Nicki Minaj's cousin's mate's testicles, we're really far away by the time we get to the subject, are swollen. And like the news and potentially Chris Whitty all have to sit and envisage Nicki Minaj's cousin's mate's nuts swelling up. And if they was my nuts, I'd consider it to be a pretty serious situation, but they ain't. So like, you've got to see this as a funny thing to be on the news. The main news again, Nicki Minaj's cousin's nuts have all swole up like punch bags. Luckily though, Nicki Minaj's cousin's mate done a fart and the testes went back down again. And then I also like this got into the personal challenges. His friend was weeks away from getting married and now the girl's called off the wedding. You know, a very loyal potential spouse. I ain't marrying you with them things, what's they? Cut of hairy brains down there, all swollen up. In sickness and in health, ball bags big or little. The real thing that's got a kick in the nuts is the marriage. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision and not bullied. Now that suggests that Nicki Minaj's general view is that it should be an individual choice made by each of us individually. Cool, Nicki Minaj. But also I quite like, as a religious and spiritual fella myself, the idea that Nicki Minaj is urging us to pray. Dear God, please look after Nicki Minaj's cousin's nuts. Dear limitless force of consciousness and compassion that runs through us all, that keeps the heavens spinning in their spheres. Those aren't the heavens, that's Nicki Minaj's cousin's nuts spinning around up there. Petitioning God to get someone's nuts back down to size. This is the world we live in.
Professor Whitty, one of the world's biggest female celebrities, Nicki Minaj, has today publicly linked the coronavirus vaccines to impotence. Now, she's got 8 million followers on Twitter. Many of them are young people, the young people you're suggesting should get vaccinated. What would you say to them, and how concerned are you by public comments like that from public figures?
Also, like when this geezer's doing it, riling up Chris Whitty, which Chris Whitty will have been informed about in advance, by the way. Chris Whitty's not like, what do you mean, Nicki Minaj? I love her! You know what I mean? This stuff's all been planned in advance. It's all been agreed and discussed. I guess it's like Nicki Minaj is being utilised by any side on this argument. People that are circumspect, hesitant, cynical about the vax, concerned about the reporting of anomalies will think, Nicki Minaj, freedom fighter. People that are like, no, just get vaccinated. This is an unprecedented crisis. Nicki Minaj, she stepped out of line. If a celebrity says something that's a bit mad, they're a celebrity. And if you agree with them, cool, you're into them and you like them. If you disagree with them, well, you know, they're a celebrity. You know? Everyone gets all serious. Oh no, but with your platform, you should be saying what I would say if I had your platform. That's not how reality works. People are all different.
There are a group of people who've got strange beliefs, and fine, and they make their own choices, and in a sense, also fine. Adults are allowed to make their own choices, however strange. That is a basic principle of medical ethics, actually.
Do you see that it's about the generation of media rather than a discussion? Do you see? It's like, oh, good, now we can report that Chris Whitty says Nicki Minaj is irresponsible, or she should be ashamed, or Boris Johnson said that. Now Nicki Minaj is sit back. They just want to keep this big mad illusion going. Now, even I am participating in it right now, but only to say this. What do you actually believe in? Who are you? What's real? Do you believe in this spectacle? Where do you want to be? Who are you in your heart? Who are you when the lights go out? Who are you when you're alone? You know, like, don't live in this fake, phony bullshit maelstrom of nonsense.
But there are also people who go around trying to discourage other people.
Hello, I'd just like to discourage you.
And many of those people, I regret to say, I think know that they are peddling untruths.
Just on that, Steve, I'm not familiar with the works of, or not as familiar with the works of Nicki Minaj as I probably should be.
Oh, how funny that I've not heard of Nicki Minaj. Oh, it's be dismissive. Don't talk about her then. Don't use Nicki Minaj as a vehicle to convey your message if Nicki Minaj is such a derisory and risible figure.
But I am familiar with Nikki Kanani, superstar GP of Bexley, who's appeared many times on before you.
How about this, Boris? We use Nikki Kanani, and they'll be able to tell that she's of non-white ethnicity from the name Kanani. So we're handling that difficult aspect of this, Boris. So we can cling on to a bit of moral supremacy behind the podium there.
Who will tell you that vaccines are wonderful and everybody should get them.
Nicki Minaj chipped in again, responding to Boris Johnson's comments. She tweeted her love for the Prime Minister.
The problem is, the fundamental problem is that the public space has become performative. Entertainers like Nicki Minaj, who have wide reach and are perfectly entitled to express their opinions, in my opinion, have now this great advantage because this confectionery of celebrity has been created in order to sort of carry commodity primarily. Now they can break out of the lab, irony, whenever they want to and carry whatever messages they choose. Really, I speak from my experience as being a celebrity in the past, like your job really is to just be a vehicle for various products. A mate of mine once said, like, remember when you used to be up on billboards and that? All that is a symbol that someone else is making money from you. But you take it, it's like, I'm important, there I am on a billboard. If it just said, someone else is making money from you, then you wouldn't take it so seriously. And thankfully I've been through that process.
Yes, hello, Prime Minister Boris. It's Nicki Minaj.
That is a pretty good English accent from an American woman there. And I gotta say, I'm a little bit impressed. I'm impressed that Nicki Minaj is going for it in this way, aren't you? Like she's like, well, fuck that Boris Johnson, I'm going in.
I was just calling to tell you that I thought you were so amazing on the news this morning. And I'm actually British. I was born there. I went to university there. I went to Oxford.
And it's amazing as well that Nicki Minaj can do this. Then it is actually on the news. Like the culture is devouring itself. The culture is falling apart. An entertainment event becomes a news event. The whole thing is sort of interwoven and absurd. She's not taking it seriously, and why should she? She's an entertainer. No, like Nicki Minaj doesn't have to be anything. You can't say, oh, she's a role model. Well, as Tupac used to say, a role is something you play, a model is something you make. Both of those things are fake. I'm going to be who I am. Nicki Minaj has every right to be whoever she is, to express whatever she wants to express. It's just a soup of stuff now. Reality stars, genuinely talented show business stars, performers and entertainers, which Nicki Minaj is one, no doubt. But the whole politicians, scientists, the whole thing, the sort of cult around Fauci, the Chris Whitty getting jostled about by those geezers in a park. The whole thing's become some unknowable morass, nothing making sense, truth indiscernible from fiction, various opinions, denial, conflict, performance. I suppose that what I'd like my contribution to this mad situation to be that we all ought be able to live a life that is an authentic expression of who we are, as long as who we are isn't hurting other people. Many of the narratives around this pandemic are used to sort of fire off shots at people that don't behave the way you want them to. Either you think people are conditioned citizens or sheeple, or you think people are irresponsible for not following a medical direction that you would follow if you were in their position. But this is a vast planet. Now, with sort of saturation communication, we're going to have to deal with people that see the world differently than we do. We're going to have to grow up and accept that Nicki Minaj got every right to say whatever she wants to say, that people that want to be vaccinated can say what they want to be saying, people that don't want to be vaccinated can say what they want to say, and that all of us have to keep channels open between us. There's no point in vehemently condemning or piously condoning people on the basis of them aligning with your opinions. We've got to get beyond that. We've got to get bigger than this issue. It's taken on the same framework as the issues that preceded it, notably the elections that Trump was involved in and the issue of Brexit. It's become about a way of expressing division and tribal divisions that, in my opinion, aren't really there, that we need to transcend beyond if we're ever to access solution-based thinking. You know, we're living in the problem. No one's ever thinking, what should we do actually? What do we want society to be like? Do we want to get back to normal? Is that the aim? Are we happy with the various economic, ecological and social crises that we're living within? Is this something we're ever going to address? Or are we going to use all of our time and energy keeping the illusion inflated, filled up with the helium of propaganda?
I'd love to send you my portfolio of my work. Since you don't know much about me, I'm a big star in the United States.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that video from a celebrity commenting on a complex social issue. My opinion, again, be who you are. Do what you want. Do what you want, be who you are. If you've got any comments, leave your comments below. Try and approach it, though, in an open way. Like, try to feel the first wave of, yeah, I was disagreed with, I was bullied as a child, yeah, try and feel it and go, it's not happening now. Right, let's communicate openly. Let's communicate openly. Give it a like, subscribe, stay with us. And if you really enjoyed that video, check out this one. It's on a similar subject. And if you want to awaken, try some of the techniques that I do on my other channel so you can free yourself from this hysterical web of propaganda. Sign up to my mailing list on russellbrand.com too.